Let's stop and check it out. Just a whole lot of nothing.
What is it about journeys and exploration that excites us? Is it experiencing new things, or breaking out of the day-to-day reality that defines us? Is it the journey or the destination? Damned if I know, but I'm gonna die trying to find out. The world is a big place, and you're never gonna see all of it. Your rig is a lot of things, among them freedom. Freedom to roam, freedom to explore, but where to explore and how to explore, that, my friend, is the question. That is the quest. Join me as I traverse the path less traveled in a quest for nothing more than the journey. I'm Dominic Wilbrink, and this is an episode of the High Class Hobo.
So it's a new day. I've had breakfast, I'm in the road, and I am going to go to the northwest corner of Pennsylvania, just kind of work my way up through that area, cut over towards Ohio, and then start making a beeline for Michigan. Yesterday was pretty much a dud in a lot of ways. I wanted to film a bunch of cool footage, but couldn't really get my cameras out because it was raining. Here we are driving through real beautiful curvy roads somewhere northwest of Bloomsburg. I am shooting for some dirt roads and go see what I find in the off the beaten path in some of the state and national forest. Once you get off the freeway of Pennsylvania, it is just, it's pretty amazing. One thing I'm finding on this Jeep is, obviously this is the first time I've taken it anything like a long distance, and I think on flat level ground it seems to be fine, but she does not like to climb big long hills at speed. It was fine, when I was tooling around off-road and in the low gears, I didn't really notice any issues at all, but if I try to maintain speed going up a hill at 55, 60 miles per hour, it just doesn't really want to do it. I do know this is the 3-speed transmission, so it's got to work a lot harder to get up to speed, but it just doesn't seem like that should be that difficult for it, so I'm trying not to be concerned about that for the longevity of the vehicle. Wow, what holy mackerel, look at that view. I'm going to circle back around and go take a picture of that, because that's amazing. That's worth the photo. Pull the Jeep off the road just far enough to get a shot here. Looks like I can. Okay, cool. I'm comfortable with that. I'll take a couple snapshots and be right back. That is quite the view. That's pretty amazing. All right, let's keep moving on here. All right, so one of the things I'm trying to do on this trip is I want just an iconic photo of a Jeep driving down the road. I'm not sure that this is the road, but I'm trying to keep my eyes open for a really cool spot to take a really cool photo. What I don't like about this road and the photo I'm trying to take is it's paved. I just don't want a paved road, but there's some spots on this section of road that I'm circling back to that I just went by that are absolutely amazing. I mean, if you look at the video and see what I'm driving through, you can kind of see that. But like, I think with the longer lens and just kind of the way the road is shaped, I should be able to get a really cool photo. Not sure it's the one I'm looking for, but we'll see. Well, I took that photo. We'll find out if it works. But just look at this. I stopped putting the camera up here. This is a cool view. Just not gonna find stuff like this in Michigan, that is for sure. So, I'm on the road to Michigan. But how did I find my path to this trail? The short answer is, my wife had an eye appointment. Alright, that answer's a bit coy. The whole story is that she needed a prescription checked so that she could get a new pair of glasses. A perfectly normal moment in life. During the exam, the doctor noted an anomaly, hemorrhaging on one retina, not both. Hemorrhaging on both retinas is not good, but it's not completely abnormal. But a single eye, that is peculiar. Her case was elevated to a specialist. The specialist confirmed the single retina issue and ordered an MRI. We waited, what seemed like an eternity. Finally, late on a Friday evening, we got a call back. The hemorrhaging was the result of pressure on her right retina caused by an abnormal growth, a brain tumor. Just like that, a perfectly normal day became extraordinary in all the worst ways. Okay, so I got a turn in the road coming up, and I think that's where it starts getting towards the fun stuff. And if not,
slight left to stay on Pennsylvania.
We'll find out. But the main road goes straight, and that's paved. And I'm hoping that once I turn here, I'm going to start getting into the dirt. We're going to know in just a moment. Pennsylvania is beautiful, but it's very tame. Yeah, there it goes. That's paved this way. It's paved that way. Okay. I was hoping eventually we're going to hit some dirt. I don't want to have to drive all the way to freaking Utah to start seeing dirt. Sometimes it feels that way when you're on the East Coast. There is not much room to play out here. All right, we're coming up on another turn in the road here, and at first this looks promising, so we'll see. Last couple times we turned, it was just onto more asphalt, but I got my fingers crossed. Half a mile down the road, and we'll be turning onto Heiner Mountain Road. And
turn left onto Heiner Mountain Road.
Heiner Mountain Road. The last couple of turns have been dirt that I've seen, so I think I'm getting into the right neighborhood here. It's paved. Just no winning around here.
7 miles.
So I'm 28 minutes from my next waypoint, which I believe is actually going to be a dirt trail. We're going to see some dirt eventually, but the name of this road that I'm on cracks me up. It's Young Woman's Creek Road. I'm sure there's a story behind that, but it just kind of cracks me up. Young Woman's Creek Road. Who knows? All right, onward. In the years prior to my wife's diagnosis, we had spent 10 years traveling the country living out of hotel rooms. After that, we settled to a stationary life in Pennsylvania for the last 6 years. Her tumor came with a couple of additional hard realities, namely the cost and the insufficient support network that we built in Pennsylvania. The cost issues are obvious. Cancer doctors and cancer treatments are not cheap. Neither is brain surgery. And if you are lucky enough to have an employer with a good health care plan, then the costs are not insurmountable. That was not our reality. We are a single-family income and had to make the choice between healthcare and a house. Following Maslow's law of the hierarchy of needs, seemingly healthy people would prudently choose the house. But life has a way of flipping your priorities on its head. For the level of care we needed, coupled with the supposed socioeconomic status I'd achieved, we were looking at an additional $2,000 to $2,500 a month in expenses. That's as much as $30,000 a year. And that's only half the problem. If you've not seen the effects of cancer treatment firsthand, then it's hard to explain or understand its effect on a person. We had 2 kids in diapers, and because we had been a couple of loners for so long, we'd not bothered to build a tight enough social network in Pennsylvania. With ballooning expenses and an inability to properly address childcare alone, it became abundantly clear that big changes were about to take place. Alright, we've finally done it. We found some dirt road today. It took a couple hours to get here, but we got it. So now we are climbing this dirt road, which hopefully there's no opposing traffic. And we're going to go to that waypoint, which is still 24 minutes away. So looks like the next couple hours, I'm going to be on dirt roads like this. We are somewhere between 3 and 2 minutes away from our first waypoint. And this is a state forest road that we're on right now. Pretty smooth. It's got crushed stone over the whole thing, packed down pretty well. It doesn't look like it gets heavy traffic, but it gets enough to keep it nice and packed in. So it's been pretty good driving. Nothing near as exciting as what was happening yesterday. And it's too bad it was raining, because yesterday was abusive to the vehicle. It was really abusive. I don't think it'd be worth it to do that on a regular basis, unless you got a lot of money to throw your rig. So, but finally gonna hit my first waypoint today at 10:15 a.m. So that's a little bit of a late start. We might have to cut some of this stuff later on today short. The particular drive that I was on stayed on the Young Woman Creek Road for quite a while, and that is a real pretty road. I gotta say, it is totally worth making the drive.
You arrived at your destination.
All right, here we are, almost there. There's a couple of forks in the road, and from there I gotta pick which destination I'm gonna go to next. I'm probably gonna stop and do like a Google Street View right here, and because there's not really any Street View photos at any of these locations, so I'm gonna go ahead and do one and then go from there. So here we are, right here, middle of nowhere. Let's stop and check it out. Just a whole lot of nothing. Apparently it's not finding them. Alright, we don't want to go that way. We want to get down to this main road. Let's see, we came down that road, so we're just gonna continue on down the road over there, because that's that road right there. And then that will eventually take us out to the road, but it looks like we're gonna have to be a little careful about our route choices at all intersections going forward. Seatbelts, safety, drive time. Yeah. Oil pressure. Try not to be worried about that. Okay, so we are now way offline, away from the internet, and progressing down forest roads, trying to make our way back to the main road since we hit waypoint 1, because I can't program any of the other waypoints in for anywhere else in the state until I get some reception. So that's what we're all about right now, just get to the next waypoint. I should find a better application than Google Maps for this kind of thing. I'm finding that it's fine for regular roads, but you can't take your places or your maps and make them online and then save them offline very well. It's just something about their system, the way it's set up right now, it's just not quite working right. Hopefully they improve that someday. But in the meantime, I might start looking at different trail applications. So I do have all the maps offline. I mean, I got that all set up. I just don't have anything to any way of getting them, pulling them down off the internet when I'm in a place like this. So I got to kind of look at my phone and see if there's any reception. If there's some reception, stop there and program your route, or just kind of keep an eye on where it's at and how you're going to get back out to the main road.
So what do you do when you're faced with a plethora of bad options? Special Forces operators talk about the need to keep moving in a fight. If you stay still, fear takes over and you become pinned down in a maelstrom. The question is, do you charge ahead into the fray or backtrack and attempt to attack the problem from another angle? For me, the options dead ahead are clear: bankruptcy and financial ruin. Trying to keep up with the healthcare cost means that other things will have to go, things like paying the mortgage and the electric bill. But if you don't pay those, eventually you end up out on the street. Even the bravest soldier would not charge headlong into certain death, especially if there was an alternative action or maneuver that could be taken. What if you could just deny the enemy his prize? Scuttle the boat? Sap the bridge? Neither of these are a pretty sight to behold. Likewise, neither is selling your house and moving into your parents' basement. But if bankruptcy is your enemy, it does deny him his prize. So that's what we did. We uprooted, retreated, bunkered down, and tried to focus on just one fight for a while.
I took a turn on one of these roads, and it was it was a turn for the worse. The road's wider, looks bigger, but it is a lot rougher. I gotta go a lot slower here. I think that's the effect of traffic. The last thing I was on was a single lane forest road. This is also most likely a forest road too, but it's definitely wider, so it's probably getting some heavier traffic, maybe even some logging traffic, which of course is going to tear it up. So, not complaining, just and of course I'm not aired down because I didn't find an auto parts store. I should have found an auto parts store and got something so I could air down the tires. Oh well. I have to suffer through on this trip. Lessons learned. So I'm realizing as I'm going down this road that when I first got on it, it had a sign that said 10 miles per hour. So I think that this is going to be a pretty much straight downhill type of thing. If that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and put it in 4-wheel drive low and instead of burning my brakes up, I'm going to use the transmission to kind of take me down the hill. Drive low, and we're going to put her in first, just leave it in first and crawl on down the hill. Yeah, that's a little better. It was going way too fast down this hill. Nice and slow and steady. I don't know if the video is going to do it justice, but it is a long drop usually off to the side around here. They literally carved these roads right out of the side of the hill. Alright, and we've reached the road and still no reception. Back it up a little ways and roll it back into regular 2-wheel drive. recommend switching into two-wheel drive out of four-wheel after you've been in four-wheel low. So it's either I'm screwing up or there's a problem. I think I know what I'm doing, but you never know. All right, so ready to drive until we get reception. Onward. All right, so I think I found at least just 1 bar LTE. So we're gonna try programming our map in now. Yep, there we go. This is what I don't like about the Google method, is I've got all these waypoints programmed in this map. If I don't have cell reception, I haven't found a way to make them offline. Directions. And also I can't find a way to put the other pins in for a couple of route destinations. So maybe if I got the GPS coordinates from one of them, that's an idea, let's do that. So I think I put the GPS, I did put the GPS coordinates in. It won't let me. Ah! Oh my god. Alright, well. Got it programmed, so it's 35 minutes. Alright, let's do this.
Pennsylvania 144 south toward Keeney Mountain Lane.
Yes, ma'am.
In a lot of ways, this trip is introspective. It's not just about getting the Jeep moved. It's about having a moment to think and reflect. We're in the middle of cancer treatments. We just sold a house, one that we could have spent the rest of our lives in. And my job is not moving with me. Not permanently anyways. That's 3 life changes wrapped up into one. In the course of normal life, any one of those is a lot to process all at once. But right now, 500 miles of backcountry winding roads sounds like a moment to breathe, a moment to reflect, and a moment to think about the future. Sort of like this trip, I have a general plan, points I want to reach, a general idea of what I'm going to do to get there, but I have no idea if I have the time, fuel, or funds to reach all of those points. And also, much like life, today I'm just taking it slow and figuring it out, one fork in the road at a time.
Okay, so we just got onto another forest road, and this one's got a power line on it that's going along it, so I'm guessing that there's going to be some houses and stuff like that along the way. About 11:15 right now. Yep, sure enough, there's at least one house right up there. Okay, we're like 3 minutes out from waypoint number 2. I switched one of the GoPros. I had one mounted up high. I put it over my shoulder now, and we got it doing a time lapse. And I mounted it to the cloth on the sway bar because the I didn't want to block the light. That was the only solid thing to mount on the sway bar, but the sound bar. I mounted it. So anyways, I mounted it on the fabric, so it's bouncing around a little bit. And I like the angle, but I'm not sure that it's going to work. So I'm real curious how this is going to be when I get up there. I'm going to check it out. But we are 2 minutes out. Definitely very different terrain over here where I'm at right now. I'm on Red Ridge Road in one of the state forest, whatever one that is. And this is definitely thicker foliage. Earlier this morning when I was over on Young Woman Creek, whatever the name of that road was, that one had a lot of fern cover on the bottom, and then you had great big older growth trees. These trees are probably about 50% smaller in diameter, so there's a lot more underbrush. The underbrush goes up to like 20 feet or so, so it's the scenery is just not quite as good. So coming up onto the road here, oh, just a campsite. Okay, cool. So it's it's a cool trail. The road, this trail is actually in really good shape. Some of the other ones I can't even do the speed limit, which is 25, and here I've been able to do 25 pretty much the whole time on this
Your
particular
destination will be on the left.
All right. So when I picked this spot on the map, I thought there was going to be something really interesting to see here because it loops around something, but I don't see, because of the foliage I've been talking about, I can't see what it is. So I'm going to just pull over here, see what that footage looks like, see if I got reception. I do not, so we're just going to have to find our way out again and figure it out. So let's do that. Just pull off the road just a little bit and let anybody go by. We're experimenting with the, whatever you want to call it, hyper smooth while it's mounted up here on the cloth. See how it does. I think we're going to put our four-wheel drive because we don't find some mud puddles around here. A bunch of fallen trees. The soil is a little softer right in this area, so gotta watch that. Mostly though, the road really only needed two-wheel drive, haven't even needed four-wheel, but if I start seeing some mud spots, I'm just gonna be prepared. I'll tell you what, if you ever ask yourself why you take the time to do a drive like this is why right here. Just look at that view. Okay, so I spent a little time playing with the drones for a few minutes. Ate up a whole bunch of time, really. Haven't done hardly anything with the big DSLR cameras, which is a little disappointing. Intersection, it's going to stop, check it out. Alright, good deal. Rules of the road apply to the trail. Alright, so we're back on a paved road. We're going to make a beeline for one of the more major roads and then hopefully get some reception and point ourselves in the direction of the next waypoint. And at some point in the next little while, I'm going to have to start thinking about making a serious beeline for Michigan because I can only play the driving through the woods game for so long. I do need to get to work tomorrow. So here's to hoping nothing breaks and we can get through the trails. Alright, so it's 2 hours to the next waypoint. We'll put us about 3 o'clock and we'll play for a little bit in that area, then we're going to have to make a beeline back to Michigan. So we're going to run out of daylight real quick at that point. So I'm going to go ahead and try and hit those trails, which will get me 2 hours closer to home. And then it's going to be a late night getting home tonight. It's going to suck. But hey, at least we had fun. Alright, so I had to roll into town because when I got to the last waypoint to turn off and head off into the forest, I had less than a half tank of gas and it was 25 miles to the nearest town. So I'm in town, fueled up, got some grub, heading back out. I'm basically going to kind of make a beeline down to I-80 because I'm running out of time and I need to start heading back to Michigan. That's the whole point of this trip. So we're about to go do that. First we're going to hit one last section of trail. Let's have some fun.
Railroad Street for 1 mile.
Well, so far this is not what we're looking for. Still holding on to hope here, though. So the last waypoint that I was at was, I think, the Susquehanna State Forest. And right now I'm heading into the Allegheny National Forest. Over here in the National Forest, it's definitely a lot flatter than it is over in the Susquehanna. But it's not to say it's flat. It's just compared to Susquehanna. How do you pronounce that? Susquehanna. Compared to that, it's much less hills. Compared to Michigan, it's still like freaking mountains. So far, the Allegheny National Forest is really just a bunch of residential roads that are paved. Nothing exciting or interesting or adventurous. There's this road coming up, looks like 255. Looks like it's right here. I see a stop sign and no outlet. We're not really interested in no outlet situation. We need to keep going. We need to at least, if I take a track, it needs to at least go to another section of road where I can continue on. I can't do that right now, so bummer. So, continuing on. Alright, so I'm now on route 666 for PA. So I'm getting my kicks on 666. I'm gonna go down this for about 4 or 5 miles, and then it looks like there's some 2 tracks that kind of keep more or less heading west, which is the direction I want to be heading today. So we're gonna go see what that's all about, and hopefully finally find some actual trails out here this afternoon, and not some paved road. But you know what? That's life on somewhere between the East Coast and the Midwest. I don't know what you call this. Not really the Midwest yet. We're getting close though. Nice little river over here. And we are just about to turn. Alright. Let's see what this is all about. Okay, look at that dirt. Commercial use prohibited. Okay. This is more or less what we're looking for. Somewhere back in here. This thing will connect. Start to turn west, or actually it'll go, it's going, we're heading northish right now, but it's going to eventually go west and start heading in the direction we want to go. It's a nice smooth track. Oh, I spoke too soon. Let's see. So it happens sometimes that you're on a perfectly good ATV trail, Jeep trail, and it starts getting a little thicker, like this. And then the trail pretty much disappears. I think it keeps going quite a ways, but if it's going to have stuff like this down all the time, then we're going to have to stop and clear it all the time, and that's just not in the cards today on this trip. So I'm going to do an about face and find another way out. So I just had to back up the Jeep. One of the things I kind of went towards this tree here on purpose, because if you happen to start sliding down the hill down there, it's just going to be a different tree that catches you. So better you get caught by a tree right up at the top. All right. There's a trail that goes up and around the blockage that I tried to go past. So I'm going to see what's up that way and around, and if that doesn't work out, that's probably going to be it for this trip. Because we are running out of daylight, and we got places to be. Let's see what we see. Shit, there's a trail intersection. It's coming, it's coming. Unmarked trail there. Wonder if you could download the satellite image for an entire area. That'd be kind of handy. I'm sure the off-road specific GPS actually has that. Okay, we are about to lose the light really quickly here, so I'm going to call it a day on any kind of dirt roads.
Pennsylvania 666 west for 6 miles.
Get my kicks on 6. 66. Yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna call it a day and start jetting back towards home proper. The GPS was telling me that it was gonna be like 9 hours to get home from here, and I forgot that I had the settings on the map to avoid toll roads, avoid highways, avoid ferries, and so I reset that, and now it says 11:52. So I'll make it home at like probably more like 12:30 if I can deadhead it really good. More maybe 1, but better than 3 or 4 in the morning, and then go to work. Was it worth it? Yeah, it was worth it. Anytime you can take the long road, it's always worth it. So now today's trip, and yesterday's trip, this trip has been about the road to Michigan. And one of the things that I would do differently if I could, which I couldn't do in this trip because the whole point was to get to Michigan. But if you're in a spot and there's some fantastic scenery you're filming, don't be in a hurry to get to the next spot. I was in a hurry to get to the Allegheny National Forest, and I'm sure there's some pretty spots there. But where I was at in the Susquehanna was amazing, and I was in such a hurry to go find the next spot that I didn't take advantage of the proper situation and missed a lot of really great footage. So I think the next time I'm out, if you're in a good spot, whether you're filming or not filming, and you're enjoying the area, enjoy the area, live in the moment. Alright, so now that I'm on the freeway, I'm a lot less concerned about the engine and the power, because I'm doing 70 miles per hour up hills, and I'm still in Pennsylvania, so we're not the super steep hills, but I'm doing 70, and it's not like it's struggling to do it. So I think it was just that those hills were really steep where I was at. Still not great, but I'm a lot less concerned because we're making it work right now. And here comes the Ohio state line. That's the end of the road for Pennsylvania. On the road to Michigan. You've been watching this video on my dedicated channel to overlanding in Jeeps and Toyotas or whatever it happens to be that I'm driving at the moment. If you want to see kind of everything that I do, which is also involves mountain bikes and some reviews and that kind of stuff, I have a main channel. So go ahead and check out that main channel and the link in the description below. Otherwise, have a good one. Thanks for watching. Work hard, play hard, and be a big softy when you get home. Be sure to check out the link in the description below for Jeep and overlanding t-shirts, mountain bike related t-shirts, or other loud and obnoxious Jeep shirts, like this mountain bike shirt,
t-shirts,
van life t-shirts, cool t-shirts like this one right here that tells everybody you're not a cyclist, you are a mountain biker,
kids t-shirts,
and other cool shirts like this one right here.
Buy my dad's t-shirts so we don't have to live out on the street.